Welcome to another episode. What are you reading? What are you writing? A weekly video podcast features creatives, writers, and readers when we come together to talk about books. I am your host, Karen E. Osborne, author of 4 novels and counting. I am so glad you're here. I think you're going to enjoy our next guest. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you, Kathleen, for coming back. You guys are just going to love. You met her the last time she was with us. It's a couple of years, but you can find her first interview if you're so inclined. But this is Kathleen Eull. Did I pronounce your last name right, Kathleen?
That's correct, Karen.
I meant to ask you that. And she is a poet, a publicist, and now a debut novelist with her first book, Intercessions. And I love this. Listen to this log line. Some secrets are too dangerous to tell and too dark to keep. Like that just gives you chills, doesn't it? Sounds really. So Kathleen is also the owner of, and I should have asked you all this before we started recording, Kathleen. I'm so sorry. Pronounce the name of the company for me.
Pixis.
Pixis. Pixis Creative Solutions. And for the past 12 years, she has worked as a publicist, specializing in the promotion of small press authors. And I can testify, I'm one of my writer friends, dear writer friends. She's her publicist, and you guys just do such a great job together. She's just really awesome. You met her here a couple of years ago, and she's talking to us today from Limerick, Ireland. So glad that you're back. So
Thanks. Good to be
as I
back,
met,
Karen.
good, I am glad. So the I mentioned that uh, the audience met you a couple of years ago, and you were starting on this new book. Give us a sense of what's happened in your writing journey from that last time we talked, and you were just getting started. You were thinking about a book, or you just started it, to actually it coming out right at the end of last year. Did it come out?
Yeah, it came out in November, the end, just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So tell us about that journey.
Well, it was a long process. First book. As I tell people, I was writing while I was raising my 2 teenage boys for that first draft, so that as anyone who has active kids in the house knows that that can be a challenge in itself. But I did get it written, went through multiple drafts as we all do, and then finally queried it. I think just after COVID hit, I started to, like really buckle down on, okay, I'm gonna query this. I'm good. Started to query and then thought, I think I want to take another look at it. So I stopped and I did another full edit. And then I sent it out again. And then I got 2 acceptances actually in not a lot of queries. So I got lucky there.
That was wonderful. That's more than luck. That's quality writing. That is, and a good query letter.
That might be the worst
Right?
part.
It is, and rejection is so hard. So is awesome. That is really awesome. So tell us the premise of the book and show us the cover.
So here's the cover, which I'm very, very pleased with. We always hope that it's going to be something we like, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. Intercessions is the story about a young girl, Corianne Dempsey. She and her friend are walking to school as you can tell, and it's in a rural setting. They're walking to school and approached by a stranger. One of the girls makes it home, Corianne. Her friend Rebecca does not. And over the course of her life, Corianne realizes that her memories of what happened that day don't necessarily jive with what she's starting to find out happened that day. So part of this is, her trauma journey I guess you could say, for a lot of people. I've talked to people who are trauma survivors, and they say they really connect with that aspect of it. The ways, something traumatic can disrupt kind of our sense of who we are. She deals with that. And I think, you slave over the synopsis. Those of you who are writers, and Karen can attest, you slave over your synopsis trying to, really hone it. And the best thing I have read actually about it is a review I got recently where the reviewer said it's the story of a young woman whose idyllic life of rural explorations is interrupted by a problem too big for her years. And that maybe
Too
be
big for her years.
too
That's a
big for her
great
years.
wow, that is a great expression.
Yeah. So that really does get to, in just a few words, the heart of what the book is about.
Wow. And I also can relate to, as a trauma survivor, a thriver, actually, but over the years, a survivor. I can also relate to the too big for her years, and I can relate to how our memory distorts things to protect us.
Exactly.
We don't remember things exactly the way it happened because our brain our just is trying to take care of us. Um,
Absolutely.
but it tends to come out in different ways. Yes. So
As
my
she finds
goodness.
out.
And what inspired this book?
It's probably a couple different things. I've done some, I'm a meditation teacher, a certified meditation teacher. I've done work on trauma sensitive mindfulness. I've done a lot of training around that, which kind of happened on a parallel trajectory to the writing. So it's kind of interesting. I can't say one fed the other, but clearly there must be an inherent interest within me in those kind of topics. Um, I read I was both challenged to write a book by a friend of mine who's a mystery writer. That kind of got me going on, okay, I need to write a book. He would call me like, so Kathleen, how's the book going? And I'd be like, I don't have anything yet. So I started writing and just I wasn't quite 100% sure where it was going until I had a conversation over dinner with some people who had grown up in big cities. And they were talking about the fact that somehow people in small towns are inherently safer and they have less danger. And so, as big city dwellers their whole lives, somehow their lives were more risky inherently.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's really interesting because that's not true. If you pick up the newspaper, that's not true. So I started to play with that idea about things that happen in small towns, that sort of Gothic sense, American Gothic sense of the danger that can lurk in small towns. And but I wanted to do a twist on it, thinking about trauma and thinking about people who aren't traditionally perceived as victims of trauma. So here's Corianne, who's a witness to something, and she kind of gets forgotten, or she just makes people uncomfortable.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
this is, you know,
My heart is already going out to Korean. Oh my
yeah.
goodness. So that leads me to my next question. What do you love about her? For those of you who, when you're reading a book, I know you fall in love with our characters, you just love them. But we have to fall in love with them first. We have to care deeply, deeply about them first. So tell us what you love about her.
I love that she is a thriver. She's, and a survivor. She's resilient. Um, it takes her a while maybe to realize how much, but she does come out on the other side, and she does um find that maybe she always knew who she was the whole time. There's that deep sense of knowing. And even when she's making difficult choices, some would say the wrong choices, there's something about it that is true to her always. And I kind of like that through line about her, that she's always honest to who she is.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So, we need a cast of characters too, right? You need a every book has a cast of characters. Is the girl that doesn't go get home, does she continue to play a role in the book? Do we get to know her? Or how did you deal with your cast of characters around your protagonist?
Yeah, you do get to see Rebecca. You get a sense of how well these girls knew each other before the event. And she continues to play a role as, as memory does, she stays with Corianne um, throughout the book. And then there are a lot of other characters around Corianne, some who are helpful to her, some not so much.
Mhm.
Um, and she kind of has to find her way on who she trusts, who she can reveal things to. I think we can all relate to that.
Absolutely. All of this we can all relate to, right?
Right.
And how do I feel safe? And so I know this is not always the best question when you finally get a book out, but are you writing another one?
I am. I am.
Oh, good.
I'm probably about halfway through the first draft of the next one, which is it's another mystery thriller, very different from this one though. Although I suppose if you know my writing, you'll recognize if there are things you like about this book, there will be, it is I'm still who I am. So there's still those elements. But it's going to be a more from the crime solving side this time rather
Mm,
than from the victim side. So a former law enforcement officer from the US gets recruited while he's in Ireland on some family business to help solve a crime. So
cool. So it's going to be set in in Ireland. Is it going to be set in Limerick?
it won't be set in Limerick, no, but it'll be set a little bit in the US and then also in Ireland. So sort of a bilocated story.
Oh, that sounds very good. Halfway through, it's a good place to be. I do want you to remind the audience or tell people who are new to meeting you a little bit about your business.
Sure. Pixis Creative Solutions is a business I founded, gosh, over 12 years ago now. And so I'm a publicist and I specialize in helping small press authors get the word out about their books because small press authors, it is truly a labor of love. You know, your presses are very supportive, but they don't have the kind of resources the big five have in terms of
Mhm.
helping you with promotion. So a lot of that falls to an author. And especially for first-time authors, it can be just overwhelming. And so I help with coming up with a kind of a press plan, where they'd like to go speak, how they see their book, how they want to promote it, and then we go from there. And so I have people I work with for debut books. I have some people who have been with me for multiple books, including our writer friend in common. She's now on her 14th book, I believe, and
Yes.
we've been together for 12 of those. So
Yeah, the incomparable Kathy Giorgio.
yes.
And you guys have met Kathy. I've interviewed Kathy on this program, and I'm going to interview her again. So you'll find out more about her. So this is what are you reading? What are you writing?
Mhm.
So I wonder if there are any recent books that you've read that you could recommend to our audience.
Well, I'm often busy reading things that my clients are doing, so that leaves me less time for my own reading. Unfortunately, I have a very large to be read stack. I did finally catch up on Reed Farrell Coleman's Sleepless City, which is his new sort of I guess it's sort of like a Reacher type
Hmm.
series set in New York, and Reed is the one who actually challenged me to write a book. So, so shout out to Reed. But so I finally got to Sleepless City, which is really great if you like kind of that Jason Bourne, Jack Reacher
Hmm.
style of a lot of gritty New York background, a lot of action. and intrigue, and reads just he's really good at writing locations. I mean, you just feel like you're there. So I always enjoy his books. But so that was one that I've read recently. I'm looking forward to Lucy Foley. I don't know if you read Lucy Foley. She's an Irish writer. She has a new mystery coming out, I think, next week, called, what's it called? The Midnight Feast, I think it is. And she's known for The Guest List, which I think was picked
Ah,
up by the Reese Book Club.
yes, yes.
And she's great if you like sort of that Agatha Christie sort of closed room mystery, but with a lot of kind of a lot of glamour and sass too that she gets in there. And if you love being like transported somewhere else, she always gets that real Irish feel. And so that's coming out next week. I have it on pre-order. Looking forward to that. And then I just started, so I can't tell you too much about it. I just started, but I brought it here. Jamal Mayfield's Smoke Kings.
Mm.
And this is really gritty crime fiction, um, and kind of about what happens to it's kind of a revenge thriller.
Mm.
And it explores things like um, retribution for Black oppression. It's really good. So I just started it. The, what's that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh,
I was just
oh,
waiting for you to finish.
oh, there was an echo, sorry. But yeah, so it's sort of a revenge thriller, social commentary, and I'm away for this weekend and I'm taking this with me because I've had it on my desk for like 2 weeks now and I'm dying to get to it.
Cool. Do you mostly read physical books, or do you read electronically? Do you listen?
I never do Audible for whatever reason. I think because I like my own sense of a character's voice.
Ah,
So I find it disturbing if I don't like the actor or actress voicing it. I do have a Kindle, which I tend to use more at night in bed, um,
hmm.
or if I'm traveling, because it's easier than carrying an entire backpack of books with me.
Yes, yes. I do like listening, and I often like getting the duo that you can get, that you
Oh
can
yeah,
read and then listen, and then it picks back up on reading.
yeah,
I find that very, very helpful. But you're right, when you have the wrong voice for your
yeah.
books, I've been so, so grateful to Debbie Tinsley, who has read all of my novels except one. She does such a fabulous job, but I've listened to books that like, really? And just
Yeah, that's not, yeah. That must be really hard though, as an author to choose someone to voice it because I mean, you've lived with that character, probably are still living with that character because they tend to hang around.
do hang around. Yeah, she was great because she's sent me little samples of not just the audition tape,
Mhm.
but of every single character,
Oh, nice.
and said, "Do I have this right?
Okay.
What would you like different? We'd meet like this on Zoom."
Yeah.
She's really quite amazing and pleased. And now another writer friend, I recommended Debbie to her, and so she's reading Jean M. Roberts' new book. So if ever, want to try an audio,
I will
and
try one of yours.
and you'll hear Debbie. And if you like gritty mystery, Tangled Lies is for you.
Yes, and that's on my list too because I'm behind. You've already got another one out. Yeah.
Writing and that's number 5 is coming out in March of
I don't know how you
2025.
do it all, Karen.
She says hopefully, because it's not quite finished, but but that's the date, March 2025. So
And I know
yes,
I
thank
saw
you.
the announcement with your cover. Did did you get a cover already for that one? Oh no, so I'm one, yes, I am one behind
You're
then.
one book behind. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was the last. This was the
Yes, I loved that cover. It's
Yeah, isn't that
amazing.
beautiful? And
It
look,
is
don't I
beautiful.
match? Look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it has just been a pleasure seeing you again and chatting with you again, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it too. They wanna find you, they wanna find your books, they wanna find out more about you, they wanna find out more about your company. Tell us how they can find you.
Okay, my author website is kathleeneull.com. My books are available on Amazon, Barnes& Noble, bookshop.org, so you can go to your local independent if you want and have them order it. My business is Pixis, PYXISCS.com. So Pixis Creative Solutions, but dropping just CS for Creative Solutions, pixiscs.com. And that's my publicist business. I'm also out there on Twitter under at PYXISCS. I'm let's see, I'm on Facebook, author Kathleen Eull. So
Let's see, so you've got so many ways to be in touch with Kathleen. And when you do get in touch with her, please tell her that you met her on What Are You Reading? What Are You Writing? See you next week, everybody. Bye bye.